Hello plant people, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and I'm a soil scientist. On this channel, I like to take that science and apply it to all things plants. And in today's video, we're doing something very, very different. So on my TikTok, I started doing like reaction videos to plant hacks that people were suggesting and either debunking them or propping them up with science. So I'm going to do a YouTube version of this where I'm going to go onto TikTok and we are going to watch TikToks and I'm going to say yay or nay, cap or not to these TikToks. So I did some of this on Instagram and you guys really enjoyed it. So I thought it would be a really fun video to do. Like a lower key video, but if you guys enjoy this series or the idea of this, then be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Also, feel free to tag me or tag me is probably the best way to do this, either on TikTok or on Instagram on Reels suggesting plant tips, and I will try to debunk them as gracefully as possible. So if I offend anyone on this, I am sorry. I do not mean to. I am strictly trying to help. So hopefully I don't go after any big TikTokers. I'm not going to look at subscriber count. I'm strictly looking up the hashtag plant help. There's 19.8 million TikToks about plant help. So let's just say I could do a series on this and it would never end. It would never end. Okay, how do I screen record? Why do I feel old right now? Dun, 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 dun. I apologize. I just had to use my brain for the first time in a long time. And I realized that the microphone is going to pick up on the audio. It would just be messy. So I had to get headphones. I'm not sophisticated. These are not AirPods. We're going to pretend they're AirPods. They got a giant cord on them. Very rarely used, but nonetheless. Okay, so first one up is blue dye stakes. I feel like that's useful to us. What's wrong with my cactus? Okay, let's watch this.
My God.
Oh my God.
Everything. One of everything is wrong with your dong cactus. It's rotted from too much water, it's wrinkly from not enough water, it's burnt from too much sun, it's stretched out from not enough sun. Just root out the babies right here in dry soil and then just throw the rest away and take yourself to church.
Okay, so that first one, like and subscribe, I don't know what it's called on TikTok, but yeah, that's legit. So there was definitely sunburn on there. There was underwatering and there was overwatering as well. So it was a mix of all of them. He is 110% correct. Now, if you want to prevent this, that dish, the pot it's in is way too big. So cacti and succulents don't have like these huge roots. They have a very superficial root system in general. And so when it comes to cacti, I would go with shallow, almost bonsai type dish, ideally, in an ideal world. Now, not always possible. So if you can't do that, then do a ton of rocks at the bottom. And I know the rock myth. Check out the whole video that we did, kind of debunking that, talking about how to do it properly, but that's what I do to eliminate that issue. And then when you do water your succulents and your cacti in an indoor setting, water droppers, so drop on the base of the roots. There are some succulent and cacti crazies, I mean that in the most loving way possible, on this channel. So if you guys want to comment down below what your tips and tricks are, but I'm sure they will all agree that that pot is way too big for one singular cacti, let alone multiple. It's just way too deep. So Any Hoosers, let's go to the next one. Okay, so next up we have
perlite, organic potting soil, succulent soil, mix it up, and occasionally I add some orchid bark just for spice. This guy is thirsty and has all of his nursery soil, which was retaining tons of water and likely would have killed him eventually, so I got rid of all that, replaced it with my soil, and he's gonna be a happy boy now. I know my soil is super well draining because as soon as I pour water onto it, it soaks right through, it doesn't beat up on the top, it's good.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not a bad soil, but I definitely would have a hole in the bottom of the pot. Honestly, guys, if you're gonna use a pot without drainage, because that's clearly what she's using right now, because if it was well draining, there would be water on the table, which makes me assume that it's a closed pot on the bottom, because that soil should have drained relatively quickly, judging from that mixture. But what I would do is I always do a nursery pot inside of a cover pot, and that is my go-to regardless, and I always do it. So decorative pots are pretty, there's no reason why you can't use them, but honestly, use a solo cup, just cut it to size so it fits inside of the cover pot. It's going to save you a ton of headache when it comes to houseplants. So just saying it. Okay, so this is the Fiddle leaf care tips.
Fig care. This is Notorious FIG. I also call him Figgy. I've had this tree for about 4.5 years. When I first got it, it was a bush, and it has grown over 4 feet. From the moment I brought it home, it has sat in this east window. Fiddle leaves do not like to be moved. Honestly, set it, forget it. I kept it in a nursery pot for 6 months until I repotted it in this larger pot. And I allowed it to grow. Okay. I honestly have done...
I'm gonna pause her, but yes, 1,000 times yes. Leaving it in the nursery pot until the plant recovers is key for any house plant. It doesn't matter what. Do it. I promise you, you will thank me later. So I leave mine in until I see new growth. Honestly, there are some plants that have been in this house for like 2-3 years that are still in their original nursery pots. I cannot stress how important this is. Your soil inside your nursery pot is fine. It is you that is causing the issue, and I know it's maybe something that's going to upset some people, but it's the truth. It's you that's causing the disruption. So put your biological controls in. There's no reason why you can't do that, because of course it is a greenhouse soil, meaning bugs are traveling and moving. They may have laid some eggs, little buddies inside that soil. That's fine. But please, for the love of God, leave it in the nursery pot 6 months. And like I said, you will thank me later. You're going to save so much money.
Nothing else with it. I water it once every 2 weeks. It gets about 1.5 watering cans, which works out to like 10 cups of water, and I fertilize April to October. I wipe the leaves with a damp paper towel, and it continually gives me new buds. It is not an easy plant, but honestly, it loves neglect. Talk to it, rub its leaves, and hopefully it will reward you.
So awesome video, and true. All those tips are great. I have a Fiddle leaf fig giant in my living room. They like water, regular water. If you're not regularly watering them, they will drop their leaves. I don't find them to be very hungry nutrient-wise, but there's no reason why you can't fertilize on a regular basis. I'm just lazy. But yeah, really good advice there. So let's go on to the next one. Moldy soil. Oh no. I will apologize for any rude comments I serve up in the next 60 seconds.
It's a ZZ and the soil is moldy. Let me tell you what I would do about this. First, I would scrape away any mold that I could. Second,
yeah, okay.
I would mix some cinnamon into the soil. Third, I would spray the top of the soil with a hydrogen peroxide solution. Peroxide kills the mold. Cinnamon keeps the mold from coming back. So I was just taking this video.
Okay. Okay. So, let's go on to discovery. Ooh, you got lots of followers. Oh, you have another soil issues one. Okay. So she's treating moldy soil, potting soil. So, potting soil in a houseplant scenario or in any scenario is going to have mold. It's gonna happen. So I recently just did a leaf video. I don't know if it's coming out before or after this video. You'll find out if you're watching this video. Check out the last video. If it's the leaf video, this is the one that talks about it. If not, wait 2 days and the other one will be out. So anyways, I just did a video on this. And so when it comes to certain organic materials, such as leaves or peat moss in this case, we end up with higher fungi colonies or content. And fungi is actually what decomposes those particulates. And so when you have a potting soil that is peat based, you end up with fungi spores because the only thing that can decompose peat moss is fungi, not bacteria. So in the absence of bacteria, we end up with fungi. Fungi can thrive in moist soil, and it can thrive in moderate temperatures that aren't too high in heat and aren't too cold. And our home is a very adequate temperature for fungi to survive. So when you see fungi on your soil, it is simply your soilless medium based out of peat decomposing. This is normal. This is natural. Now, the problem is that fungi being present is a sign of high moisture in the soil, meaning that it can result in root rot if not mitigated properly. You do not need to get rid of that fungi. That fungi is doing what it's supposed to do. It is converting very large chemical compounds into small usable forms for the plant, bioavailable forms for the plant. This will happen in the nitrogen cycle, the carbon cycle, you name it. It is a normal process that needs to take place in a biologically active soil. Meaning, if you use a organic fertilizer or you're mixing compost or manure into your potting soil, you can guarantee you will see mold because that's the only way for that plant to get nutrients. So if the plant sends out the exudate or the signal to the soil saying, hey, I need these microbes to decompose this product to make me this bioavailable nutrient, that's what's happening. So yes to the scraping, don't scrape the fungi off, but you can take a fork and simply rough the surface up. All this is doing is it's breaking up that upper crust that may be forming. This can form from algae, it can form from organic material. It is just simply aggregating the soil. Very natural process that happens. But if you break that up, it's similar to what we do outdoors when we till. You are fracturing that soil structure and you're allowing for higher rates of evapotranspiration. Now in an indoor setting, not a big deal. We just grab an extra cup of water, we put a little bit more water on. We're not in limbo, we're not out of limbo. In a large garden, a homestead, a farm, big deal because now you're seriously screwing up our hydrological cycle, and this is why we don't recommend tillage in a large scale farm. But indoors, give it a little fake till with your fork, it'll be fine. Don't scrape the mold off, it's okay. Now mixing in of the cinnamon, I don't see anything wrong with this. I did a video on cinnamon. I did a blog post on cinnamon as well. Some cinnamons do work. So pure forms of cinnamon, A-okay. They will help to lessen fungi, but again, fungi in soil is very normal. Now, the issue is that a lot of cinnamon you buy at the store is fake, or it's kind of like a version of, or it's old. And so it doesn't have as high of antifungal, antibacterial properties, which ultimately, I mean, throw it on because you'll still make me happy because you're not harming your bacteria or your fungal colonies within your soil. So that is fine. Hydrogen peroxide. I've talked about this a little bit. It is a very moderate type product that does disinfect and will kill stuff. I don't recommend using it on soil. You can use it as like a light cleansing on the plant itself, but in the soil, I just don't sterilize it. Sterile soil is not good. And I find it so funny that the gardening community is obsessed with anything but sterile soil. We're trying to throw fungi, bacteria, algae, you name it. The dirtier the soil, the better on the gardening perspective. But from the houseplant people perspective, we still think sterile, sterile, sterile. So we used to be sterile, sterile, sterile on the farming side, on the food production side. And we suddenly realized, you know, pesticides and fertilizers and sterilization isn't working. Mother Nature's really fighting us on it. And we haven't quite bridged that gap yet on the houseplant side. And I hope one day we do, and I'm here to hopefully help with that. But please, do not sterilize your houseplant soil. You will thank me for it later. I promise you, it is a good thing. You do not want sterile soil. You want dirty dirt. Dirty dirt, that's what you want. Okay, so next one is the same creator, treating soil mold and fungus. Oh, it's just the same hack, I bet you. Hydrogen peroxide. I didn't see any fungus on that one, but that's okay. Yeah, don't do it. That's all I have to say to that. Okay, next. Let's find another one. What are we at for time? We're at 14 minutes. Okay, let's see. We'll do one more. And then if you guys enjoy this series, you guys have to let me know. And then I will do more videos on it, because this is like a really easy way for me to do videos. Not that I don't enjoy doing the regular ones, it's just sometimes I need a little bit of a break, and this is like what I do at bedtime anyways, so yeah, it just works out nicely. So this one is on fungus gnats. Let's see what Jungle in the Natty says.
Gnats. When combating...
Let's take time to fall in love with our plant collection. Beautiful, beautiful.
Step number
Natty.
one
Beautiful.
is a neem oil drench. Now you can find neem oil at most garden centers or on Amazon. Now just spray.
I'm gonna do a video on neem and its effectiveness. You guys have asked so many times.
The soil until it's absolutely drenched. This will kill any larvae. And also make sure you do read the directions on neem oil. Some of it's pre-mixed and some of it you will need to mix yourself. And when you spray the soil, some of the adult gnats are gonna fly off, and that's where these yellow sticky traps come in handy. And guess what? The little dipshit gnats are attracted to yellow, so when they come back, they'll fly right into the sticky traps. And the sticky traps come from, where do you think? Amazon. Repeat the neem oil drench again in a few days, because there's probably eggs in the soil, and when they hatch, you're gonna have a whole new generation of larvae.
So she's not wrong. The neem oil, I don't know if it works or not. I've never tried it on fungus gnats. I don't use those methods, but I'm gonna do a video on neem oil and its effectiveness. The yellow traps, now those are smart. And so the adults hang out outside the soil, the bee buzz are inside the soil. And so in order to stop the cycle, you need to kind of take out both at the same time. So the best way to do that is with those yellow traps in conjunction with predatory nematodes, which I've done an entire video on, I think twice now. So if you want to go check that out, go check that out. And on that, I explain how it works. But essentially what the predatory nematodes do is they eat all the babies. And you can get diversified versions of biological nematodes. So you can get ones that kill fungus, gnats, thrips, and a whole host of other things. But that is probably more effective, in my opinion, than the neem oil is. And it's better for your, again, soil microbes, your soil microbiology, than putting neem oil on your soil. Maybe that. And I've heard neem oil is stanky stank. So something to keep in mind. Now, I'm not doing this as a humble brag or anything. My houseplant collection, I don't really get bugs. I don't get sickness in my plant collection very often. And when I do, it's relatively easy for me to control. Now, I'm using biologicals. Ones I can't see given. I'm not putting like lacewings or ladybugs in my house, but I am using soil versions of predatory bugs. So I use predatory mites and I use predatory nematodes. Now I've never done one on the mites before. Maybe I should do that, but that is thrip, spider mite, more like leaf type bug control. So something to think about. Let me know if you want a video on that, but that is what I use, and I don't have that issue as often. So let's just do one more. This is the problem with TikTok. You get addicted. There, okay, houseplant, okay, this is like houseplant help is literally the same guy over and over again. We're gonna go back to plant help because he made me nervous. Brown spots. Hey, it's this girl again. She must be popular in the plant world.
Hey, I'm Tia. I hope you not kill your houseplants. Right now I'm working on propagating my fiddle leaf. The branch that I cut to propagate got new growth within about 6 weeks. But if you look closely, see those little brown spots? It's because I overwatered it. It's like a little bruise. Here's more.
Yeah, she's not wrong. That's true. I did a whole video on that actually. That was really short. Let's do another one. That's right. That is a bruise. It is called edema. I did a whole video on that, and I showed you kind of what my plants look like as well. Sanitizing LECA.
The succulent in this LECA died, and so I'm going to show you how I sanitize and reuse my LECA. All I do is boil it for like 5 to 10 minutes. Stir it up. Strain it. And then rinse it.
Yeah, sure, why not? There's no reason why you can't do that. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. It's LECA. It's a lightweight expandable clay. So, I mean, if you're using LECA, I would not be using organic fertilizers. I would be using conventional fertilizers, specifically hydroponics fertilizers in that case. You're not relying too much on microbes. You're not relying on too much of any of that. So sterilizing LECA is completely okay to do. There's no reason why you can't. So something to think about. But we're at 21 minutes. I don't know what it's going to be when I edit it. Probably shorter than that. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you want this video again. Also, tag me on Instagram or TikTok, Gardening in Canada, to let me know what videos you want me to do a video on. I'm going to be doing a garden help reaction video right after this one, so be sure to stay tuned for that. That will come out 2 days from now approximately. I'm not too sure when, but I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.